Hello and welcome to Gag of the Millennial.
A show where we talk about pop culture, current events,
and spill the hot Darjeeling right into your laps.
Golden World. That's a bit mild. Instantly
Shake
cancelled.
bosom scales.
Well, talking about bosom. Hello.
I am a big breast.
Just one.
Roly's got breasts. Hello everyone.
Touch me in the neck.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? What is the tea?
Oh, I'm actually... I joke about this every time, but today I'm not doing too well. But
No.
I am going to push through it just like a good woman on the game.
She found out she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 8 babies.
An Octomum.
Octomum's got
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
I'm transgender nightmare, girls.
Ooh, very chat magazine.
Very.
It is. Okay, hello everyone. So,
Hello.
sorry for
a
that.
little while. Oh, we always do this. Just a bit of housekeeping, have you got
Yes. So today we are doing a part 2 to Am I the Arsehole? Now you guys have asked us to do a part 2 of this for literally ages. Do you know when
Since
people
we made it, yeah.
Do you know when people always go, I've been asked loads of times to do this, and like it literally has never.
Yeah, no one's ever asked you
This
about
is
to give
genuinely a
us a
thing
tour
where
of your
people have,
pantry.
people have genuinely asked us a lot to do part 2 to this. So
Yeah.
we've picked out some stories each other.
Yeah.
We're going to read them out. We're going to discuss them.
Yes.
And hopefully we will determine, are
Are
they
they
the arsehole?
arsehole? The answer most likely is yes. I feel
Yeah.
like everyone in this subreddit. So this is a subreddit if you didn't know.
Yeah, this- yeah.
It's on Reddit. Am I
Yeah.
the arsehole? Go there, have fun.
Very popular. It's got like 3 million followers, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really, really popular. It's one of the most popular ones I've seen. So this one is called, Am I the Arsehole for hiding embarrassing notes in my house as a joke because I knew my fiance's mum snoops? Snoopy whoopy.
Snoopy woman
Awful.
on the game.
I bought a house 7 years ago and I met my fiance, Al, 4 years ago. This year he moved in and we're talking about making it a home for the both of us. But as of now, he hasn't moved much stuff in. Right now, it's about 95% of his stuff is still at his house. When his mum comes over, she kind of snoops. He was used to that, but when she comes round to our house, it's so uncomfortable because she's just going through my shit. When I'm bothered, she's like, I'm just helping with the chores, etc. He says I should just let her be because it's easier and she has a lot of nervous energy. What the hell does that even mean?
Oh, get over it, girls. Nervous energy.
One thing she snooped on was actually embarrassing. In my home office, I have a little affirmation post-it note on my monitor saying,
Oh.
I am smart, I am skilled, and I'm deserving of great things. It was a silly thing that my therapist recommended to me to get.
But it works.
To add to my confidence mindset before like an interview.
Yeah.
First of all, that's absolutely fine. Don't call yourself
Yeah.
like that's nothing silly about that at all.
Also, I just really need to interject. Nervous energy does not make you snoopy. Nervous energy makes you go, ah! And then you just sit down for like several hours. It'll make you go, what's in her panty drawer?
Exactly.
Lies.
Anyway, she made a comment about my ego, but as a joke, I decided to do it again. I had my best friend over and we got wine drunk and wrote a bunch of affirmations to hide.
Oh, Chablis, girls. The Chablis mouth.
Some were placed in my medicine cabinet. Oh my God. One was placed in my medicine cabinet said, my teeth will regrow. I am shark-like and powerful. Some in my kitchen drawers that said, I know when to spoon, but I also know when to fork. I am a sexy and self-assured. One on my work desk read, I will not just f*** my way to the top of the company. I will f*** my way to the top of the world.
Oh, that's cool. I like that one.
And a bunch more like this.
Oh, I bet she had a heart attack.
Next
This
time my
snoopy
mother-in-law
nervous woman.
came over, she saw a few, and she didn't acknowledge them to even me, though she definitely started acting a little strange. I went to run some errands, and when I was out, she confronted Al about the notes and was trying to tell him that I seemed unstable, egotistical, and moving in was a bad idea.
Oh, mummy's boy.
She showed him the notes, and he didn't really know what to make of it. He asked me about them, and I said they were just some silly private notes to boost my confidence, and I asked, how did she get hold of them? Had she been going through my things? He said she was just tidying and saw them. You saw one in the bathroom, the kitchen, the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, in your office, your office drawer.
Exactly. And she
Lies.
said that they were really weird. I was like, have you met me? You know how weird I am. Anyway, if you don't want your mum seeing my weird shit, then you should probably stop letting her go through my shit.
Absolutely.
He said I was making stuff hard for him. His mum was really protective and adjusting to him moving was really hard for her. So she's like saying, am I the arsehole for leaving those notes for her? First of all,
Absolutely not. It's your house.
Can I say one thing? Like, you're not the arsehole, but I want to say that your partner's being a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
Like, it's very different if it was his house that you moved into and his mum was then snooping through his stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
you can't move into someone else's house, then let your mother-in-law snoop on other people's things when you haven't even moved your stuff in.
Exactly. Fundamentally, this is your house.
Yeah.
This isn't your mother's house. It's not your partner's house.
Yeah.
It's your house that you've allowed them to move into. But where was your husband or partner before he moved into your home?
Yeah.
Was if he wasn't in rented accommodation, he's never lived away from his mum before, that is a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Because he's marriage age and hasn't proved that he can actually survive in the world yet by, having his own place, looking after himself,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah, definitely.
I find that's very entitled parents. Very entitled parents. We saw a lot of this like, oh, but I just want you to be mine. It's like, but he's a fully functional adult male.
I think the mother was just trying to find issues with the girlfriend, so he would stay with her.
Absolutely.
Like, it feels like she just didn't like you to begin
mummy
with.
dearest,
yeah,
whatever it is.
Like, she just was finding in any excuse.
Yeah.
This whole thing of like, oh, just let her be. No, don't let her be. That's
It's
ridiculous.
not like she found a gun. Like, she found a couple of notes being like, I am like shark. I
Yeah.
regrow teeth.
Yeah.
Like, she's not
Oh,
like,
she's
she's unstable. Quickly, she needs to go into a home and you can run home to mummy.
Like, I think, how about you say to your mum, why are you going through her stuff?
Yeah.
Instead of going, oh, no, it's fine, I'll just talk to her.
yeah, and
but
I
you
have to
sound,
ask
I'm sorry,
her
but the
what-
boyfriend just, the
Awful.
fiance just sounds pathetic.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But I do find I've come across a lot of these guys that are very like almost their mother is like obsessed with them, and they choose not to see it. They know it happens because they're like, but it benefits them to not see it. It
Yeah,
benefits them to
yeah.
have like their mum come over and do their washing
Yeah.
whilst they live like 30 miles away. Like, just grow up.
Yeah,
just
grow up. Yeah.
Grow up. So verdict is she's not the arsehole.
No.
Everybody else is.
Yeah.
Yeah, scales. Scouts.
Scared.
Am I the asshole for refusing to eat food that I don't like? Just from that title, I would hazard a guess and say no. But we know it's not going to be like that, do we? I, a 56-year-old male, have a son, 28-year-old male. Love the fact that they've clarified the son
Yeah.
is male. That's
Yeah.
very sweet. My son has spent a lot of time traveling overseas during his college years. He went all around the world, including several trips to the Middle East, where he studied for his minor in Arabic language and literature. Amazing. A few years ago, my son found out that a woman he knew in Pakistan had a son who was 9 years old. She claimed the son was his, which I doubted. My son, however, believed her without question. He asked this woman to send her son to the US to stay with my son so that they could get to know each other better and he could be a better father. He spent the last few summers here. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's like, yeah, you might know who his son is, let's be honest.
Can I just interject? What's this got to do with food?
Listen,
I'm
just
so
you
confused.
Wait. Just you wait, girls. Oh my God, just you wait. Recently, the boy, so not even named the child yet in his
He
mind.
sounds like a racist.
Gammon, absolutely. The boy moved in with my son full time, a decision I strongly urged against. My son enrolled him in the same private expensive school we sent him to at that age, which is very, very expensive. I have tried to support my son's decision, but it has been hard. I really want my son to get a DNA test, but he is stubbornly refusing. This is the case of like racist father doesn't believe child
Yeah,
is his.
yeah.
Recently, things came to a head at a family dinner my son invited us to. He said the boy was feeling homesick, so they cooked us Pakistani food together. My son wanted the whole family to eat his food because he said it would make the boy feel like it was his culture was accepted and his side of the family was accepted by the whole family. Now, I don't like Middle Eastern food. I don't like strong spices. My son begged me to just try some of it or at least eat the bread. The bread had flecks of all kinds of weird spices on it, so I refused. My son got mad and asked me to please eat something just to make your grandson happy. He pulled me aside after this so the boy wasn't present to hear our conversation. I told my son that he has no proof he is my grandson. And even if he did, I wouldn't have eaten the food that I don't like. My son called me a selfish, stubborn asshole and then asked me to leave. So I did, but my wife stayed. My wife agrees with me that I shouldn't have to eat food I don't like, but she said I could have at least tried to bite to appease my son. She thinks I was just being stubborn to be stubborn. I wasn't, though. I don't like the Middle East food at all. How can I be an asshole for that? Still, my son isn't speaking to me right now. Should I just have tried some bread? Am I the asshole?
You are
a racist gammon.
like. This is the thing is, I think what this is a completely different story, sugar coated with I just didn't want to try food. What the story should have been is am I the
racist?
asshole
Yeah.
for being a racist?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Regardless of how you feel, you are not the child. You are not the parent of that child.
Yeah.
And it's like even if this pet child wasn't his, he clearly loves this child
Absolutely.
enough to be like, I want to take care of you.
Absolutely.
I want to give you the best. And that's
Absolutely.
all that matters. Who cares who the
You
father
don't need
is?
to do a DNA test. Like a father is not just like the sperm donator.
Yes,
Like
yes.
a father is actually someone who is present in your entire life to like provide fatherly loving roles.
Yes.
And it's very upsetting. I think that this man is so obsessed with the idea of being like, that's not my grandson. That's not, and we know why it is. It's because it's racism. It's pure racism.
Nothing to the food. You've just sugarcoated what you're.
But also, who doesn't like Middle Eastern spices? Like a spice is a spice is a spice. If you've got cinnamon in things, what about like warm mulled wine at Christmas? They didn't grow in like Gammon, Surrey, did they? You can't grow like saffron in Surrey. Well, you probably can. I don't know.
It's so it's
ridiculous.
This was just
Unhinged.
this was a racist story.
Imagine being
put
like
over
the bread
food.
had flecks of weird spices. Like, get over it.
The thing is, like, I have quite a severe sort of food phobia-esque thing, but in that situation, I would still eat the food.
Well, the thing is, you would see something on that table that you would like to eat.
Yeah.
Like, even if it is just the bread and some sauce, you absolutely would. You wouldn't be like, I'm not doing all that. I'm never shopping at BHS again. All this weird Spice Girls.
Yeah, to me, that was
I
just...
nearly threw my neck out there.
You did,
Oh,
she's an old woman.
Hello.
Yeah, you're more than an arsehole.
Absolutely.
You're a racist arsehole. This one is entitled, Am I the arsehole for telling a cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card?
Oh. Ooh. Fingers in the tip.
So, a throwaway post just because my husband told me I was the arsehole and want to know before I get home to argue. You already sound like sound a bit of a twat just saying that.
Karen, yeah.
I was in a higher end department store today. Rhymes with Bloomingdale's. So Bloomingdale? Is that what it's called? Bloomingdale's.
I mean, at that point, just bloody say
Yeah,
it.
it's weird,
Like,
isn't
get
it?
over yourself. What are you doing?
And happened to be next to two teenage girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at the price tag and asked the boots girl if she was really going to spend that much on the boots. Girl with the boots said something along the lines of, "It's fine, I have my dad's credit card and I'm not paying," which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. It's in capital letters, that was. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how the girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but I had to split up from the girls at this point because they have found something else. We ended up at the same register. I was behind her and I see that the total of the items she bought added up to more than 4 digits. Just as the girl was about to swipe her card, I decided that I can't let her get away with something like this, and if someone's not going to parent her, I will. Can you already
Entitled.
you sound awful. I tell the cashier this isn't her card and it's her father's card and I don't know if she has permission. Girl and friend turned and glared at me and giving me possibly the worst, dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there.
You're throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
You're busy right now throwing a tantrum. So no wonder why people are looking at you like your head's on backwards, because it is.
I don't think she's ever been told no. Girl tells the cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed it out, it wasn't her cashier. Now that I've pointed that out, the cashier tells her she can't use the card. Girl tries to show ID to prove that they had the same last name. Yeah, that will help. And I tell this woman sounds awful. She in brackets she's put, yeah, that will help. I didn't need to know that this is the arsehole. She is an arsehole. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says I'm not a fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal and she needs to pay with her own money or I'm going to call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me, so she used her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home only for him to agree that I was wrong.
Absolutely.
You sound like a arsehole.
You do. You are absolutely the anus of the planet at this point. That is horrendous.
What's ridiculous about the situation is, first of all, it's nothing to do with you. Like, yes, obviously, someone could have stolen the card. Someone could, like, all that is a legitimate thing. However, first of all, she knows the PIN number. So it's not, and she's putting it in her, it's not like she's just like, use a contact or something like, lol,
£20.
But also, if it's her dad's credit card, and he's obviously, and this is a shop that has like if the total's like 4 digits, he's obviously someone who's going to be earning a lot of money, but will probably check his finances and go, why did this money come out of this shopping center? Like, He's gonna look at his bank statements. Even if it was stolen, she's not gonna get away with it. So, but the chances are she probably was just like using daddy's credit card because he lets her buy things.
Absolutely, and I think that is absolutely the case here. And it's always good to remember as well. I almost wish in every single one of these circumstances, these Karens would call the police. Because they would be like, "This is a waste of you have
wasting
called the police here. This is waste of police time. I'm arresting you."
This
now.
sounds like a woman who loves to feel superior to everyone around them. And like, what you're saying, your excuse to think was, "I've always told my son never to use someone else's card."
Yeah, you shop at Bloomingdale's, but he won't let her. She won't let him use her card, which means like, what a horrible parent! You can be wealthy and your child has to live in abject poverty.
Yeah, like it's such a strange thing. Like, stop trying to parent other people's children.
Yeah,
like they weren't affect. Like if
they don't sound that teenagers aren't children. Also,
yeah,
they're not like they're like, "Mummy, let me waddle into the road and then I died." Like that's not what happened.
But like, it's not like the thing is, I can understand if like some kids were coming up to you and being like assholes to you directly, and then of course you could be like, "Can you fuck off?" But like, it had literally nothing to do. You overheard a conversation and go, "I'm gonna get involved. It's my business." But you sound like a twat.
But also, I bet this woman like saw young people in Bloomingdale's and was like, "Ugh, scummy young people, Gen millennials. They don't know anything. Everything's handed to them on a silver cunt." Yeah. But then she was just like looking at them and like, how could you ever overhear all that level of conversation if you weren't like,
you were actively trying to get involved rather than hello.
Those boots, girl.
For people listening on SoundCloud, Luxeria were very close to me then and started giving me dirty looks.
I did, yes.
I'm supple.
I forget about the clown of Sound.
But you are the arsehole. Horrible little ice crumbly.
Horrible little girl. So this one is called...
Am I the arsehole for getting gout?
Yes. The answer is yes. It's, am I the asshole for uninviting my transgender sister to my wedding?
Oh my! Well, you already sound like a nut, but maybe she's an absolute maniac.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe she's a maniac. Yeah, she could be. Even trans people can be a menace to society. Some background. I have a trans sister who came out to us around a year ago, but has been on hormones for longer and hid it from us until she'd moved out into her own place to be more comfortable. Probably because our parents are very conservative and known to be transphobic. What a surprise. As a result, there was this huge fight and a ton of people in our family, including our parents, cut her off and don't want to talk to her anymore. This, sadly, is actually a really common thing.
Yeah.
It can happen to anyone who's LGBT. In fact, it can happen to like cis heteronormative normal people who are just like, "I want to be a clown," and they're like, "No, die!" Like this can happen to anyone, basically. Yeah. I like to think I've been pretty supportive of her so far, using her pronouns and her name and all that, which I do feel a bit like, don't say all that, because it's not like, she's just busy doing all that now.
Yeah, it sounds trivial.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Which has been hard on me, considering our family gives me shit for doing so. Well, that's kind of annoying, but also like, it's not hard on you, sis.
Can you stop acting like you're the victim?
Yeah. I even make it a point to visit her every so often while she hasn't seen most of our other family since last year. I also promised her that if and when I got married in the future, she'd still be invited despite the tension with our family.
Yep.
Okay, so everybody remember that, shall we? Me and my fiance got engaged a while back. My parents, especially my dad, absolutely adore this man. And since my sister came out, they've almost seen him as a substitute son.
Oh, disgusting.
That is a hate. I hate this people that people are like, "I'm just mourning the death of my child." Like, your child hasn't died.
Your child hasn't died. Get a grip, yeah.
Almost as a result, he's definitely more on their side of the situation. So the husband is like, "I'm the substitute son. Everybody loves me.
Yeah.
I've got gout." And he's made it clear that he doesn't really agree with or like my sister all that much. So this sounds like a right catch. After the proposal, how's he going to cope if your children come out as LGBT or trans? Immediately in the bin. After the proposal, which was very elaborate and surprising and orchestrated by my parents. That also sounds a bit weird, yeah. My parents, who are wedding planners. Oh, well, there we are.
They didn't get this. Wanted a wedding,
no.
Right?
My wedding, but it's my baby girl. Started talking to me about planning the big day and even offered to pay for everything. I mentioned wanting to invite my sister, and they shut the idea down immediately, talking about how she disrespected the family and cut them all off and all that. They basically gave me an ultimatum. Have my wedding planned and paid for by them, or have my sister there. They don't come at all and don't pay for anything. So I took my parents' offer because I can't afford to pay for an entire wedding and because my fiancé pressured me into accepting it. I broke the news to my sister and she's very understandably upset, but I'm still inviting her to a small Zoom after party. Literally, imagine being like, "I'll give you a FaceTime." That's the same, isn't it? So we can be together on my big day.
You don't care about your sister.
I still feel really guilty about this, though. So Reddit, am I the arsehole?
No, you're more than an asshole.
Absolutely.
You're a word that begins with C.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely hateful. The idea that your family has cut out your sister because she's on a journey of discovery for herself, which happens, like, a journey of discovery happens for everyone. So some of our journeys are a bit longer and a bit more arduous than others, shall we say. It is your job to be a supportive family member. I hate that. I hate that. That's really
disgusting.
Sad. And
awful.
to have already said that you're inviting her, regardless of any tension that might arise, then immediately going back on your word.
Yeah.
Like, so what is your word worth?
You said, and you invited. You also invited her way before you knew that her parents were going to pay
That's
for
what
it.
I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
disgusting.
And the idea that you're getting married because your parents are wedding planners and they've pressured you into it is like, where is your spine in this situation? To be like, all of this is wrong.
So these kind of situations just to me show like your true feelings towards that person.
Selfishness.
Like no matter what anyone said to me, if someone said to me that they would give me money or give me anything to like do something and undercut you or like, you know, do something that was like, oh, she can't come if you, like, I would never do that to because if I was to do that, it just shows that she's not actually my best friend.
Yeah.
So if you saying, oh, but I do love my sister, I feel so no, you don't though, do you? Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it's very like, it's performative.
Yeah.
Very performative. And I think
again, it's not like the sister was like this horrible person and they were like, oh, actually maybe we shouldn't because she's just come out as trans and all of a sudden you're like, like
no, never goes. Like, yeah, it's very disappointing.
You are the asshole.
Yeah, absolutely riddled with the anus bug. She's a body slick girl.
She's a body slick. So the title of this next one is already shocking.
All right, let me brace, girls.
Am I the arsehole for catfishing my underage sister on Tinder and humiliating her in order to teach her a lesson?
Absolutely. What a lovely story that was.
That's it.
Disgusting. All right,
so,
okay.
Let's listen to this. Last week, I'm using my sister Ashley's phone because mine was dead and I needed to call a friend to confirm my plans. Okay. Dialing my friend's number, I saw a Tinder notification of some dude messaging her. Immediately, I asked why she has Tinder. She's only 17. And she grabbed her phone back and said, none of your business. Now, I understand because you have to be over 18 to have to...
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So
but
I
mean, like,
get
17-year-olds do date.
Yeah.
They do, for sure.
But I do understand the concern there,
yeah.
However.
Okay.
I decided that I wanted to have a little fun with this. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's just swiping for fun. So I didn't want to go straight to ratting her out to our parents. To test if she was just using it for fun, I decided I was going to make a Tinder profile of someone else and message her and see if she responds. I asked a good friend from back in college who happens to be a male model, Kevin, if he'd mind if I use his pictures and explain the situation. Okay. He thought it would be hilarious and he told me to go for it. He thought it would be hilarious to catfish her.
Oh, well, male models don't have brains, do they? Oh, it's so funny! Oh, aren't you funny, Kevin? Oh, so funny! Yeah, let's catfish your sister.
I created this account and set my age to 22. Set my swipe radius to a mile and quickly found my sister's account. Her age was set to 19, which was a lie. Okay. She's still in high school. So I was definitely more suspicious of her now. I super liked her and in less than an hour, she matched and messaged me. I decided to set up a date to a fancy restaurant downtown for a Sunday afternoon and told her that we could head to my place afterwards. She was completely receptive and said she would meet me there.
Oh, God.
She told our parents she was hanging out with one of her track friends and spending the night at her place. After she left, I told our parents everything and showed them all of the messages. They were pissed and I suggested we all go to the restaurant. My dad and I just went instead and saw her sitting at a table alone, all dolled up waiting for Jim. My dad went up to her and said, Jim's not coming, and she screamed and asked what we were doing there. I told her that there was no Jim and that it was effing stupid of her to be trying to meet grown men on Tinder at her age. We were a bit loud, so people were starting to look at us, and my sister eventually burst into tears and ran out. I told my friends in the group chat situation, and they were all agreed that it was hysterical, except for two of my female friends who said that I was an effing dick and cruel to her. My other friends defended me and said she needed to be taught a lesson, wondering who's right if I went too far.
Okay, first of all, how can you book... I'm suspicious of this because, like, if I was a restaurant manager and someone had booked a table just to have, like, an argument in a fancy restaurant, I'd be like, you are all banned for life. Banned, immediately banned. Like, what are you doing? But B... You aren't a parent. You're not the parent. So this concept of like, oh, I need to teach her a lesson. I bet you've done naughty little slutty stuff on the internet at 17 as well.
I don't understand as well. Why does humiliation have to be the way that you teach your sister
weird, isn't it?
about safety on the internet.
That's going to push her further away from you.
Exactly. Yes, she shouldn't be doing this. Like, she shouldn't be on Tinder. She's underage.
Yeah.
And you know that is a true thing. You could have maybe just told the parents. And I don't know why you had to concoct this whole thing to trick her into going to a place and just make it like making her feel absolutely mortified at the fact that you tricked her. And it's just.
It's a very strange concept. I can't imagine trying to teach someone through humiliation.
Weird.
When does that ever work?
What the thing is as well. It's not like this. Your sister was like being an absolute twat, and you were trying to teach her a lesson because she was being awful and she was being a horrible. Like, she was just teenagers do this kind of shit.
Absolutely,
absolutely. And this is not the outcome to fix her or to fix the way that she's behaving. Awful. You're an asshole for doing that.
Absolutely.
As the older, if she's 17, I'm assuming you're like 18 or 19 or something.
Yeah, you have to be the older sibling.
So the fact that you're doing all this is just awful, and you're committing fraud.
Yeah. Fraud girls, banned for life. So this next one is an interesting one. Are we ready for this?
It's called, am I an arsehole for being a lesbian?
I've got gout. Am I the arsehole for refusing to Am I the arsehole for refusing to buy my girlfriend a 6-figure car?
Ooh.
I am a 24-year-old male, and I am dating a 26-year-old female who we refer to as I. For some context, I know nothing about cars, so I don't know what this is going to be. I drive a 2019 Nissan GTR. What does that mean to you?
Gout.
Absolutely nothing. I told myself when I'd made it and made enough money, I was going to buy it. I work a job making close to 6 figures, and I've learned to invest in stocks and crypto, and I've made some good money, but of course, stocks and crypto are never promised and could crumble at any time. That doesn't sound like you're a crypto bro at all.
No, it doesn't.
Like, to the moon, girls! Dogecoin! My girlfriend drives a 2018 BMW M3. I know that's like a nice car.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. And it's a very nice car in good condition with no issues under the hood. The other day, she suggested I order her a new Tesla for Christmas. This has to be American.
Imagine being able to go, I want a Tesla for Christmas.
Who buys cars for people for Christmas? That's very American. You know, that where they bring out a new car and it's covered in like a bow and they're like, happy birthday.
It's like on those sweet 16s that we bought you a car.
Yeah, but like now you've got good luck, insurance, like $8,000 a day. Of course, I'm not saying I don't or won't want to spend money on her, but she drives a very nice car that I've already paid for. She does, however, pay the insurance and the maintenance and the upkeep. And it is still a luxury car that drives well. I argued with her that I wasn't going to just drop 6 figures on a car when I'm looking at buying us a house. Yes, even though we're under the dating title, we have extremely strong love for each other. That she has my name tattooed on her. It was not my idea.
Triggered.
Yeah. And while I love her and I'm always buying her gifts, I don't think it's a good financial decision to buy a car for no reason. She tried insinuating that I was being cheap because I spent more money on my car than I did on hers, and my car needs to have work on it. She tried accusing me of not loving her and only giving an F about myself. I genuinely don't think I'm the asshole for spending my money on something that I work for. Yes, she works for a job that she finds ideal and went to school for a long time and she enjoys it, but I'm not pocket watching her. Am I the asshole for refusing to buy her a new car?
I think you should dump her.
Okay, so there's multiple levels to this because I, at the best times, don't like a sugar baby style relationship.
Yep.
But clearly, he's younger than her. He invests in stocks and shares. He's on a good job. Like, he's almost sugar daddy material.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you are a sugar daddy, you should look after your sugar babies because they'll just go off elsewhere. Otherwise, like, it's not a seeking arrangement like this is something that's like, it's beneficial for both of you. It's not just like, there's no love.
The only thing is we don't know that's the situation.
No, but we also don't know that it's not the situation because usually ladies that are a couple of years older don't usually date younger men, especially if you're 26 and 23.
He might have a huge penis.
Well, yes. There we go. So I don't feel like I know enough here, but I am going to straight off the bat say that she's an asshole and you're not.
Yeah, I mean, The thing is, though, sugar baby, sugar whatever, like, you want someone to buy you, like, a 6-figure car.
But he's already bought her another car, which means that he's not like cheap, realistically.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of these things where I'm like, that's what makes me feel like there's more to this than just like she's being an arsehole. I feel like there's more context needed here. But I am firmly on the position of you're not the arsehole for not wanting. You're not the arsehole for not wanting to buy someone a car. That's the end of the story.
Yeah, I still think you should dump her.
Dump. But the thing is that also when they're like, oh, we're under the strong title of like, we're not getting married, but we're just very in love, even though we're buying a house. I'm like, just marry her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like actions speak louder than words. I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like I need more context here because men will whine about anything to do with money, regardless of if they're like, even sugar daddies are still like, oh, but you love me, don't you? So I don't have to buy you the latest one. It's like, no, if you want access to this Pasqualier, the latest one. But I understand that. I understand that because it is like an arrangement. You are buying access to something that you want, which is usually a hot woman's body, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah. The point still stands. Let us know what you think about this in the comments.
Yeah.
Because Roly and I have very different opinions on when it comes to values in relationships. I always like to be like, I am the desirable one. You need to really prove it to me, sis. But I know that you're very much like, we're much more equal. We're much more... And I'm like, no, come on, pay for everything. I have my own money, but pay for everything.
So this one is titled, Am I the arsehole for pointing out to my friends that they're not famous?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. This is very amusement.
My friends are dating. They're also actors who have had small roles on a few TV shows. I'm talking 2 lines or less. I say this not to be a hater. I truly am rooting for them, but to give you a scope of that's just to give you a scope of their reach. Neither of them have a big following in real life. On their social medias, they have about 1,500 followers combined.
Oh.
Anyway, last week I posted a group picture on Instagram of people celebrating a friend's birthday. Everyone in the photo has got their arms around each other's shoulders. Very platonic.
Oh.
Anyway, in yesterday's group chat between the 3 of us, they asked me to take the photo down because they didn't want the public to know that they are dating. I would consider it if they looked bad or like too sloppy drunk, but they don't. Everyone has got their arms on each other, not just them. Sorry, they don't want the public.
The public. Oh, ridiculous.
Anyway, I asked them what they mean, and they said they didn't want to end up in gossip mags. Oh, for God's sake.
Not with your 1,000 followers combined, sis.
I pointed out that they're not famous and that they don't even have functioning IMDb pages. They were livid and called me a bunch of names. I think they're delusional, but they've been texting me demanding it, even sent me screenshots of them reporting it. Nothing has happened. At this point, I don't even want to be their friend. However, and possibly because I'm an arsehole, I don't want to delete it based solely on principle. I think in this situation, everyone's being a bit douchey.
Yeah.
Like, if someone doesn't want... Like, if you've got a group photo and, like, a couple of them, like, I really hate this photo. Like, if they don't want it up and, like, you're friends and it's a bit like, you don't need the photo up. Like, you don't need the photo up.
Yeah.
So you could take it down just to be, like, a good friend. Although I do think they're being a little bit...
Like,
egotistical, like in the gossip mags,
like sis, if you want to be famous, you need to be in the gossip mags a little bit. Like,
yeah,
come off
it's like the thing is, even at my size on the internet, I still wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to end up in the gossip mags.
Public
like, oh, let's not like get over. Like
Ridiculous.
you do need to get a reality check and get over yourself a little bit. Like no
absolutely.
one cares. This sounds very much like the people who would go on things like Jeremy Kyle
and be like, I'm too famous for my
I was
local
on Jeremy
Tesco.
Kyle for sleeping with my brother.
Yeah,
like,
it's very that, isn't it?
It's very Jerry Kyle energy. Like it's you're not famous, but also like I think you were still being a bit douchey.
Yeah, I think there's in that sort of a scenario, like technically if someone asks you to take a photo of them down, I don't feel like you have to then like apply like a reason. You can be like, I didn't want you to have that photo up. And that should be like, it goes along that similar sort of line of like, no is a full sentence. Like, you don't have to give reasons for
There's
it.
been many times that we've taken photos together and like...
I'm like, absolutely not.
I don't like, will you delete it? Like, just because I hate the way I look, or I hate something.
Yeah.
Like, yes, their reasoning was a bit stupid, but ultimately it's up to them.
It is, yeah, absolutely it is. I feel like, if the thing is, group pictures always have like, unless what we do is we set up like a full-on thing and then we're like, right, everybody pose.
Yeah.
We'll take 90, pick the best one.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of touch it lady, and then pop it a line. And it's just like, these people, obviously, if I'm like flat down drunk on the floor somewhere going, I'm like, no, don't post that online. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is some sort of like social etiquette. But I also understand the idea of being like, well, to prove that you're not famous. But also, this does sound a little bit of tinged of jealousy. Like,
yes.
I mean, I don't mean that they're not famous. I mean that just less than 2 lines. Like,
I do think that sometimes people put too much emphasis on social media following. Like, there's many different ways fame can be with a person, and not having a massive social media following isn't the be-all and end-all of fame.
Absolutely. Completely agree with that. I do feel, so it's not quite that he's an arsehole, but I feel like he's just being insensitive.
Yeah, I feel like you could just be a little bit of a better friend. I feel like you don't like these people very much to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you're rooting for them at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree, girls. Next one is titled, Am I the arsehole for playing video games?
Yes.
Yes is the answer. Every Sunday, I set time aside to play some video games with my brother-in-law. My wife is well aware of this, and it has been a fairly kept tradition throughout the 4 years of our marriage. I get a text from him asking when I'm available to hop on to his lobby, which is obviously like a video game term. And I tell him I have to do some dishes and clean my general kitchen in my front room as per my wife's request. You should not have to be, like, requested to tidy up your house.
Yeah, that should... okay.
Men are like this.
I have many things
Yeah.
to say about that, Jesus.
I finish my tasks and ask my wife if there's anything else she needs from me before I hop on the game with her brother, to which she explodes. She snapped at me that I don't prioritize my family or my 1-year-old daughter. Okay, that's new information, isn't it? Who was asleep, mind you, and that she needs help. I ask her calmly what she needs help with before I get on my game. She replies that I clearly care about video games more than I do about her or my daughter, and tells me that I get what I want as per usual, and tells me to go away and just play your stupid games. Feeling defeated and a little hurt, I get on and I play with my brother-in-law for about an hour and a half. Finishing up, I come into the front room where she is sitting, fuming. She told me that I clearly have no regard for what should be the most important part of my life, and that I care little to prioritize a computer screen over your family. Then maybe we aren't just compatible, and maybe I might be better off alone, clearly threatening divorce. This goes on for a while of me defending myself as calm as I can, and her berating me and telling me how little I care about her, and she storms off. I'm not sure. I feel a little bit gaslighted, but is it true? Am I the arsehole? Should we put our little thinking witchy hats on here?
So, I don't think you're necessarily an arsehole. I think you're just very misguided.
But I must say, the very fact that earlier on it shows like a sort of pattern of behaviour here. The fact that the wife had to ask him to do chores, and then he had to check with his wife that it was all right. He could very easily just say, what I'm going to do, clean up that table, clean up that, and I'm going to go and game for an hour, then I'll be right back to help you out. And that's much more well-rounded than being like, so, can I go and play my games? Because
I think it's one of those...
He needs to be a bit grown up about the situation.
Yeah, I feel like you sound a bit like... Juvenile and a bit kind of like stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to be asked to clean your house.
Yeah.
Like, your wife is not your parent.
Yeah.
And if you both live in this place together, it is also your responsibility to keep it nice and clean.
The very fact that he has to ask his wife about the tasks that needs to be done shows he has no initiative, which means she must be exhausted having a 1-year-old baby, and she's probably like, for God's sake, can't you just pick up on what needs to be done?
Yeah.
Because he's clearly like, what? Baby? Like, and it's
he's
like,
having the eyes.
I know, when blinded girls.
Blinded by the gout.
It's very ridiculous. I think that he needs to get a grip, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves free time, must admit, but as soon as you have a child, your life does change.
Yes, and unfortunately, you have to accept that.
But of course, like, so if the child's only 1 year old, that means your wife's body is not back to normal. Not that you're ever normal after you have a pregnancy. Like, I only know this from watching The Swan, really, is that so many complicated things happen after childbirth to the body. It takes years for you to start to feel normal again. She's probably feeling incredibly pressured, incredibly upset.
Yeah.
She's probably up late at night feeding babies and stuff. And then the last thing she wants to hear is like, can I play my games? Just like, no, for God's sake, open your eyes, you stupid man. And I can understand that, but it's also like, just get a grip. Get a grip on your life.
Yeah, I think you need to seriously learn to grow up. This is the thing. I think this is more complicated than just saying you're an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're clearly misguided in life here somewhere, and you haven't been taught responsibility.
Yeah. I totally agree.
You can say, "Oh, I want my free time. I deserve this. I need to have my time." But if
like,
you have a baby, your whole life changes forever.
It does.
And you can't be like, "Oh, well, I deserve free time." No, everything that you must do now, your child has to come first, because
exactly.
they will not survive, and they need you
exactly.
to live in the world, and you cannot just pawn off on someone else and be like, "Well, I've got a wife. She can do it. I can play my games."
Yeah, very
like,
agree.
No.
But also in this situation, okay, yeah, you're gaming with your brother-in-law, but like, not everyone is a gamer. Not everyone enjoys video games or whatever. Just like involve your wife like a little bit in the fun.
Yeah.
Sure, like, I'm sure there's something that you're like, even if you're just like, can you pick the outfit I'm wearing for this match on Fortnite or something? Like, there is something you can do to make it a little bit like lighthearted and fun, and being like, well, okay, I'll play without my headphone on, so that if like the baby's upset, I can be like, sorry everybody, baby. Do you know, like, there's clearly that's not what he's done, and she's just annoyed at this whole like, but clearly it's like a repeated pattern of like,
this isn't
neglection.
a one-off. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't feel like you're the arsehole, but I feel like you have assholic tendencies.
Yes, assaholic.
Oh, drink up the nuss.
Am I the arsehole for telling my grandma she looks like Ronald McDonald?
McSnatched. Oh.
Every time I see my grandmother, she tells me something to the effect of, take that ring out of your nose. You're ruining your pretty face by putting a hoop and it looks like a bull.
Oh, highly relatable.
Highly relatable. The last time she said it to me, I politely asked her to leave me alone and to stop talking about it.
Okay.
Or next time I won't be so polite. To be fair, this is the first time I spoke up because I'm not confrontational and I really don't like confrontation. And for that matter, I shouldn't even be asking my grandmother to stop making rude comments about my appearance.
Very true.
Absolutely true. Fast forward to today, at a family get together, she says the same thing. I immediately shot back that maybe she should stop dyeing her hair red and perming it because it makes her look like Ronald McDonald. A lot of people are pretty pissed at me. I warned her that if she did it one more time, I would snap. She's insulting my appearance, so why is what I said any worse than what she's been saying to me a million times about my nose ring, in my nostril, not even my septum, which makes it even weird that she's making the bull comment.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Also saying, ruin my face. I am not ruining my face, and it's not her place to tell me, as a grown-ass woman, how to look.
If you want to tattoo your face bright pink, do it, sis.
Yeah, like, really live your life, girl.
Live your life.
I refuse to be bullied by even an older-ass woman. Am I the arsehole? Absolutely
no,
not.
you aren't, yeah.
This whole idea that you need to respect elders, like, oh, you respect your elders. If they're not going to respect you, you don't. You can't be like, I can say whatever I say to you, and you can't say anything to me because I'm old.
Yeah, there's this phrase. There's a great phrase. I'm going to paraphrase it here because I can't quite remember it. I'm probably going to butcher it as well. That is like, authority requires respect in the same way it requires power, or something like this, where it's like, oh, if you don't treat me with respect, I won't treat you as human. It's very that sort of saying of like, so she can say whatever she wants to you because she thinks that she's like the matriarch of the system.
Yes.
And as soon as you like dare to be like, well, can you actually like leave me alone? It's not that she was like, I'm never going to talk to you again, Barbara. She's like, just stop commenting on it. Like, this thing is here for like, maybe she's not going to have it forever. Maybe she is. Like, it's nothing to do with Grandma McDonald girls.
Grandma McDonald.
It's weird, isn't it? I don't like these. It's a specific generational thing as well. That's like, they feel entitled to comment on other people's bodies, and I don't know where that came from.
What's funny though is my granddad. Obviously, my granddad was the part of the silent generation. So he's before boomers.
The silent generation didn't have this problem.
Yeah, but like the fact that even, I know technically he wasn't a boomer, but like even the fact that like when I started getting piercings, because I had a lot before he died, like he didn't like them at all. Did he ever make a single comment about it to me? Not once. Didn't even say anything to me. I knew that he didn't like them because that's, both my grandparents didn't like modifications when we were young. But again, I think it's a generational thing. But like, did he once make a comment about me? Absolutely not. Like this idea that you need to tell someone that, like, if like,
keep your opinions to yourself. Were these adults not taught as children? Like, if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Weird, isn't it?
And they're like, no, a ball.
It's so strange. It's so strange. I hate this idea that just because someone's old or they're part of your family that you have to love and respect them.
Exactly.
Like, no, if you're gonna be rude to people, regardless of what the comment was, if she's telling you, I don't like you saying that about me, can you stop saying it? Yet she still carries on. Completely deserved. You're not the arsehole.
Well, the thing is in situations like this, respect is the default for every person. Like, I hate the phrase of like, you earn my respect. No. Respect is the default, and it is revoked at problematic behavior.
So
the idea of saying, if I was to comment on you, oh, you really look like a bull with that. Yeah. That is me already revoking my like need of respect. Yeah. Then you can immediately respond with something like, well, your hair looks stupid.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it does.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I styled it especially to be stupid. Cunt.
Stupid.
Am I the arsehole for kicking up my girlfriend?
Oh, yes.
Oh, just you wait, girls. Right. Okay, you're going to immediately change at this sentence.
Okay.
So I have a cat.
Oh, she hit the cat or something. No. Right, kill this woman.
Yeah, so I have a cat named Raven who's 3 years old.
That's a nice name for a cat, Raven.
Isn't it cute? Yes. My girlfriend of 2 years moved in with me a few weeks ago, and it was clear that she didn't like my cat. Yeah, dumped the girlfriend in the bin. I didn't think it was a big deal until one day I got home and he was just gone. He's not an outdoor cat and he never goes outside. He was gone for hours and I was worried sick until my friend came over to the house and returned him, saying he found him 2 blocks away from the house. I asked my girlfriend how my cat, who has never tried to get out before, ended up that far away from the house, and she admitted to kicking him out. Wow. Disgusting. disgusting. I was furious, saying she had no right to kick him out, and told her that since she thought she had the power to kick my cat out, I wanted her out of my house by the end of the month. She cried and that she had nowhere else to go, and that she would have to live in the streets, girls. I said I didn't care and told her to leave by the end of the month. My friends think I'm being too harsh.
No.
My cat could have died because of her, and I don't want her trying anything else. Am I the arsehole?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I'm sorry. This whole thing, unless you have an animal, you don't really understand that, like, this isn't just like, I just got rid of some stupid thing.
It's just this
like,
stray thing that lives.
Two people who own animals, it's literally like their children.
Like
it is.
It's
the love
They're
that you
part
have.
of the family.
The love that you have for your animals is the love that you have for a person. Like you adore, like, absolutely.
And in some
vile.
cases, it's actually stronger to have
Yeah.
like love, like the love of like an adoring cat or an adoring little puppy or something is sometimes so much stronger than the affection I would ever feel.
Also, what did this woman think was going to happen?
Yeah,
the
just
cat.
be like, oh yeah, we immediately forgotten.
Oh yeah, the cat was going to disappear. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Fed him for 3 years. Oh yeah, it's fine. Bye.
No, what was she? Oh, what?
Awful.
Instantly out, because
Yeah.
that just shows the lack of like humanity that this person
is
has.
very narcissism.
You don't have to like animals. It's fine. There's certain animals I don't like. We all just like things or whatever. But like the idea that you would happily like put something in danger like that and not even bat an eyelid and not even tell the person and think you're just going to get away with it shows the lack of humanity that you have.
Absolutely. But also even the phrase of like the cat, he's had the cat for 3 years and he's been with a girlfriend for 2. So she knows the cat.
Yes.
Like it's not like she's never come over, never met the cat, didn't know that he had a cat, blah, blah, and was just like surprised the day she moved in, was like, oh, get out. It wasn't like that at all. It was like, this was a calculated move to be like, I want to dispose of that animal. And that is vile. And I'm glad that she's in the bin.
In the bin, girls. Yeah, awful. Awful.
Absolutely.
You are not the
arsehole.
No.
She is a gaping arsehole.
Gape.
Gape.
So this one's very appropriate for my channel.
Oh.
Am I the arsehole for removing my baby's earrings immediately after my wife pierced them?
Oh, very appropriate contact. Oh, come on, girls. All aboard the trigger train.
Joe.
Girls.
My wife and I have a 2-month-old daughter, Elisa. When we've been having the piercing debate since before she was born. She comes from a culture where it's normal, where a normal thing, but I'm not comfortable with the painful process like that, and would prefer to wait until she's older so she can choose herself whether to get them done. While we haven't made a decision, my wife went for a day out with her family with the baby while I had a few things I needed to sort out. When I got home, the first thing I noticed was in Elisa's ear was a pair of gold studs. I demanded to know why this has happened, and she said they decided to make a day of it. Make a day of it.
Make a day of it. Okay.
And just get them done.
Get a real job.
I felt pure rage and immediately removed the earrings and threw them away. This enraged my wife, and she said removing them was totally disrespectful. She slept in the spare room last night and isn't speaking to me at all. As far as I'm concerned, I did the right thing.
Yeah.
She got them pierced without asking me,
Yeah.
and importantly, asking Elisa. So I took them out because our baby doesn't need bits of metal sticking in her ears.
So I agree. I do agree with that. I do think you are not the arsehole for doing that. I think that
you already know my opinions if you've been watching me for a while about piercing babies. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what's normal. You shouldn't be doing it. Like no one has the right to anyone else's body autonomy and what's there. Like
absolutely.
You should not be changing a child's body or like a baby. Well, in this case, a literal infant, like an actual infant who's just been 2 months old.
Yeah.
You do not have the
here.
Yes, like a baby is not a toy, not a doll, not a
you
pet.
can't dress them up like that. Like that's not fair at all.
It's irrelevant what you think is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like you should not be doing that to a baby.
And I think even if people are like, well, it's culture, blah.
I don't
like,
care.
Yeah, we used to lock people in stocks and throw rotten fruit at them.
Yeah.
And they used to get dysentery and die.
And that was the culture.
And that was literally like 200 years ago. And that went on for 1,000 years. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like cultures move and progress with times. Cultures amalgamate new things and they get rid of older things that don't necessarily work.
The thing is, this also has other issues of like your wife clearly doesn't respect you as
she lied.
You and your choice because ultimately, it should be the child's decision to get pierced. But in this situation, the child cannot consent to any of this. So the fact that she went behind your back to do it shows that she has a lack of respect for you
with her family and made a day of it. So that means immediately that you will always be on the outside of that group.
You were always
never
be
amalgamed into whatever the wider idea of your circle of family is. Never going to be in that. So they don't value your opinions or they don't even value your child.
Yes.
Now that should be a massive red flag to be like, maybe I should reconsider what's actually happened here.
Yeah. So I'm not
Very
going to,
unfair.
I don't really want to go into ins and outs of why pissing babies is wrong, like the things that can happen and think like a future one. Just, go research it yourself. But like,
I mean, a baby can't look after itself.
Yes.
That's the fundamental point.
But I think there's many issues to this situation, not just the baby's lack of consent in this situation. I feel like this relationship would not last.
But also, do you know that back in the day we used to tattoo babies?
Did we?
Can you imagine?
Jesus.
Could you imagine saying that now? Oh, this is part of my culture. I tattoo babies. You'd be like, burn to the stake, girls.
I can't.
Literally, isn't that insane? Absolutely
Weird.
insane.
Absolutely insane.
But yeah, you are not an arsehole. Your family is an arsehole. Your wife is an arsehole for ignoring your, your wife is for just disrespecting you like that. I completely agree.
Yeah. Well, this has been an interesting
what
one.
a moment of excitement,
I have to say, out of all the Reddit things we've done, I think this is my favorite one to look at.
And to be honest, this series could go on for multiple more episodes because there is so much.
And you guys leave such good comments. Well, the thing is, on the podcast, the comments on the podcast are my favorite ones to read through.
They're always like an 8-yard story.
Yeah, we get real stories. I really love it. And this is one that we tend to get the biggest sort of reaction to. So please let us know down below any of the stories we've spoken about. Your opinions, if you disagree with one of us.
Favorite, to be honest, you're fully more than welcome to disagree with me. All I ever do is put my opinions on the internet. That's all I do. So don't worry. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to be like, blocked, you disagreed. So don't worry about that.
We should go tattoo some cats.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and then set them free. Yeah. But we have to make sure they're family cats of someone else for several years first. Yeah.
Why not?
Really twist the knife.
But of course, we will back for another podcast episode very soon. Some exciting things might be happening soon as well, so we'll talk about it a bit later. But thank you.
We're having a baby.
Yeah, we're having a baby. Thank you everyone who has listened, watched, or viewed, whatever you whatever
metric media and
whatever way you listen or watch this podcast. Thank you for making it wonderful, and it's lovely to be back in 2022.
It is. Is this the first one?
Yes.
That's exciting. Yeah.
I've got cats.
And with that, we will see you in the next podcast, my loves.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Wonderful.
That was unhinged.